Thank you. This is about being together tonight, and not only tonight. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear friends, szanowni państwo, goście, drodzy przyjaciele, I would like to thank you all for being here with us today as we are strengthening our relations with LOT Polish Airlines and El Al Israel Airlines. We couldn't have selected a better place for tonight than this museum, Polin Museum, which actually reflects our history, the common history of Polish and Jewish people, our Polish-Jewish relations, and also reflects the strong bond between Israel and Poland. Nie moglibyśmy chyba wybrać lepszego miejsca na takie zbliżenie wspólnej historii, jak również poczucie takiej wspólnoty pomiędzy Polską i Izraelem oraz między obywatelami Polski, obywatelami Izraela. I would like to invite a few distinguished guests tonight to say a few words. First of all, I would like to invite here Ms. Hadass Nisan, Culture Attaché of Israeli Embassy, to address us and say a few words on behalf of the embassy. Zapraszam.
Good evening, dobre wieczór. Thank you for inviting me this evening for this beautiful ceremony and for tonight. Ever since me and my family arrived in Warsaw 1.5 years ago, we were thinking to ourselves how we should live and experience our adventure here in Poland, in Warsaw. Should we live under the shade of what happened, or shall we celebrate life, celebrate the life that used to be in Warsaw, in Poland, and celebrate our own life? And how is it to live as an Israeli in Poland today? With these mixed feelings and thoughts, we went through our journey. And actually we even have a special celebration of life when my own daughter, I gave birth 5 months ago, and my own daughter was born here in Poland, and forever in her ID card and in her passport it will always be written that she was born in Poland. And I would say this is kind of an answer, celebration of life, continuity. And in this context, I would like to dedicate my words to remember 1.5 million children and babies who perished during the Holocaust. Yehi zichram baruch.
Amen. Thank you very much. Before I ask the next speaker, I would like to say to you all that we have among us a very special person, someone who is a survivor of Holocaust, Mr. Mossberg, Edward Mossberg. Can you please make yourself visible for everybody? I would like to ask a round of applause for you being here with us tonight. We really appreciate your effort to come to this celebration. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I would like to call to the stage, if I may call it this way, our rabbi who is with us tonight, Rabbi Yehoshuy Ellisa, to address us and give us his message.
Shalom, vitame, bruchim habayim, welcome to everyone. So today, or not today, but soon will be the 9th of Tevet, the 9th of Tevet is a day commemorating the beginning of a process that led to a great tragedy for the Jewish nation. The day that the Babylonian Empire encircled and put under siege the city of Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, our eternal capital. Being besieged means being cut off from the rest of the world, having no friends, having no allies, no one else to rely upon. And so it is quite fitting that today that we're commemorating it by looking at strengthening that recognizing already the strong relationship between Poland and Israel, and it's strengthening it. This is an act of tikkun, of repairing the damage done by finding our friends and our allies. Thinking about identity, about the previous speaker, I'm a lowly American who made Aliyah. I was also an Israeli, but my children, I'm proud to say, are Poles, Israelis, both. It's very unique. Every time I speak to Israelis who come to visit here, and every time I speak to Poles who've just gotten back from Israel, they all say the same thing. I feel like I'm at home. It's been a difficult past we've had. We have a bright future together. It seems to me it's lovers getting over a spat. I want to commend all of those who are working to making this relationship on all levels between the nation of Israel and the nation of Poland stronger, moving forward with honesty and introspection, so that never again Yerushalayim will be cut off. Never again Yerushalayim will fall. That Israel can strengthen Poland, and Poland can strengthen Israel. Yesher koach. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for these wonderful words. I would like now to call to the microphone CEO of the Polish Airlines, Mr. Rafał Czerski.
Thank you very much. I will speak English, if you allow me, and then say a few words in Polish. I'm very deeply moved because today Jews around the world commemorate the 10th of Tevet, which is the day of memory and memorial for the Jewish people. And this has been a day of remembrance since historic times up to the current times, showing the tradition and strength of the Jewish tradition. During the Second World War, the German Nazis brought incredible evil into the country we're in. It was a country which was home for both Poles and Jews. In fact, Poland lost, during the Second World War, 3 million Christians and 3 million Jewish citizens. And was one of the countries that suffered most during the Second World War. Starting from the German invasion in 1939, but so did the Soviets, a systemic destruction and annihilation of the Polish elite started. And it started here nearby Warsaw, where the Germans started shooting members of Polish elite in Palmyra, but there were sites like this all around larger Polish cities. But so did the Soviets, where they murdered 22,000 Polish intelligentsia officers, members of the Polish army elites, including the chief rabbi of the Polish army, Baruch Steinberg. He also died at Katyn. So these losses.
He was killed.
He was murdered. Absolutely. with the shot in his head, on the back of his head. This is how a nation was terrorized and how a nation was deprived its elites. Of course, what followed on was the worst crime in world's history, where countless people, countless Jews, countless Poles, and as was mentioned before, 1.5 million Jewish innocent children were murdered in the Holocaust. And it is right and correct and necessary to commemorate all of them, as this loss has been unprecedented, and this loss has to be a memorial forever in the history of humanity. Today, Jews around the world also remember as the day of remembrance for all those whose date of death is unknown. And so many of these poor innocent people who committed no crime were brutally murdered in the most horrendous way, and we all remember them today. We remember entire towns and villages destroyed. We remember synagogues burned and destroyed. We remember all the families, innocent women and children, 1.5 million of them, sent to their untimely deaths by the cruelest, most evil society the world has ever seen. We, the Polish people, understand very deeply the Jewish pain and difficulty, because there was virtually no family, including mine, who has not lost at least 1, 2, 3 members during the Second World War. And this is why your pain, the pain of the Jewish people, is also our pain, the pain of the Polish people. And this is why we have ultimate commitment to the memory of the 6 million Jews murdered. It's our commitment forever. Especially that 3 million out of those 6 million Jewish people were our compatriots, along with the 3 million Christians that were murdered during the Second World War. But looking into the future, our role, the most important role at Lot Polish Airlines, is to connect people, and connect them through travel, connect them through visiting one another, connect them through making friendships. And I believe that together with Elal, we have made a true and long-standing friendship. And it's a wonderful relationship that thrives, and that tomorrow we will make yet another step in developing. But it's built on the basis of mutual respect, trust, and I would say love of one another. And the love of Gonen, but also of the owner of Elal Airlines, with whom I share a really most wonderful relationship, Tami Moses Borowitz. She's a lovely Polish lady. She's a Jewish lady, but she's a lovely Polish lady. Her family is from Łódź. And we really love talking to one another and share a great relationship. This is why it's so important for me today to stand with my Jewish brothers and sisters today and on all days, connecting in memory and in memorial. And we will, in the future, undertake even more efforts. We will fly, I believe, more than the 21 flights that we fly already between Poland and Israel. I hope the number of those flights will be increased. I very much hope that the connectivity for what we do with Elal, for all the Jewish and Polish travelers who want to travel around Europe, around Poland, to Tel Aviv, to Israel, will be further strengthened. And I believe there is no better way of creating mutual understanding and friendship, respect and love than to visit one another. I also would like to say that I'm very honored and I'm very grateful to Edward Mosberg, whom I have met a few months ago. He is a survivor of the Kraków-Płaszów camp. And he was one of the survivors filmed in a very moving documentary which is called Destination Unknown. I very rarely remember being so deeply moved as I was moved after watching this movie. And I was moved even further when Edward made a speech afterwards, giving his account of his survival. And Edward, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for you being here. I hope you will say a few words afterwards. I would definitely think it would be wonderful.
People have to know what happened. And if they witness, if a survivor cannot talk, it's very wrong. So I am available every place.
So I would like after all the official speeches that your speeches is added to the program, because I think we will all really benefit from that. I also
I lost over 40 people from my family, and I'm a sole survivor. And this is my duty and obligation to go and talk and talk. And as long as I live, I will be doing it.
I have a great idea, and I think we should do it, Conan. That movie, Destination Unknown, should actually be part of our, well, it's an appropriate word, in-flight entertainment, but it should be part of our IFE.
I can do a deal. I'm the producer.
Exactly.
It took him 14 years to make the movie.
Everything fits in. So finally, I would just like to say very simply, Yehi Zichram Baruch. The memory of all those who died should be a blessing, and may they rest in peace. Thank you very much. Ja nie wiem, czy po polsku jest jeszcze potrzebne. Nie ma potrzeby. Bardzo
Rozumiem.
Ladies and gentlemen, panie i panowie, to sobie pozwolę przetłumaczyć. Bardzo dziękuję panu Mosbergowi za zabranie głosu i chciałabym powiedzieć, że właśnie tak powinno być, że trzeba opowiadać swoją historię, a naszym obowiązkiem jest słuchać tych słów i tej opowieści. I think it is our duty to allow those who survived to give us their story, ask them to tell us how it was. And it is our obligation to listen, to remember, and to take this message and this story to our children, to our grandchildren. This is how it should be. So let the people talk. Let the people tell stories. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite here to this microphone our CEO and President, Mr. Gonen Ushishkin, who came especially here tonight, today, to be with all of us tonight. Gonen.
Thank you, Rafa, my friend. Sir, it's not written in my speech, but I feel privileged to stand and see the survivors. And I feel humbled and lucky to be alive near this memorial and seeing the survivors of the Holocaust. So thank you for reminding us what life could be. Thank you, sir. Shalom, dear friends, and good evening. I stand before you today with a heavy heart, but at the same time with a great deal of pride. Pride for what we all have been able Polish over the last 70 years. Today, we are commemorating our past, but also celebrating the strength of resilience and the ways in which our peoples have come together to reflect optimism and strengthen cooperation. I'm here in Warsaw with my colleagues from Elal to celebrate the future cooperation with Lord Polish Airlines. The culture agreement that will be signed tomorrow between our two flag carriers. This cooperation is a reflection of how we see one another, the Polish people and all of Israel. How mutual respect and optimism honoring our past and highlighting our accomplishments prevail. Only last week, we lit the last of the 8 candles celebrating Hanukkah, a holiday in which the Jewish people has survived when the Greeks attempted to destroy our people and culture. We are here as we just laid the wreath at the memorial to the heroes of the Warsaw Ghetto, where Jews had to fight the Nazis in order to attempt to survive. In here, on the grounds of the ghetto inside the Poland Museum, a museum dedicated to the history of the Jewish people in Poland, and that it was and continues to be accomplished between the Polish and Jewish peoples in this country. Today, as we prepare for the 10th of Tevet, a traditional fast day in the Jewish religion, commemorating the siege of Jerusalem by the Babylonians that culminated in destruction of the first Holy Temple. This is also the day that the rabbis chose to observe the memorial for those victims of the Holocaust, whose date of death is unknown. We have brought with us from Israel the special Elad Torah scroll, the 5 books of Moses, the Bible, representing our past and the importance of unity between us. This is the source of our values and morals, traditions, and culture of our people. No matter wherever Jewish people live or have lived, this Torah scroll, which has remained unchanged since Moses delivered these words to the Israelites in the Sinai desert, has been our guiding light. I'm very proud to be leading an Al Israel airline, the airline bearing the flag of Israel and the Star of David as we fly around the world. We are the airline that has been part and parcel of the modern history of Israel, developing alongside our country. I'm proud of the accomplishments between our two countries, and more importantly, the respect our peoples show to one another. I'm proud of our cooperation with Lord Polish Airlines and all that we have accomplished thus far, and look forward to doing even more. I would like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for being here today and show how much you care. I would like to thank Emilia and the entire Elal staff here in Poland, making this very special event so meaningful. And sir, I thank you for coming and taking the effort to tell your story. Thank you.